Welcome to the Dog Chug. Roger and Rouse, how's it going tonight?
Pretty good.
I'm sipping.
You're sipping? Why?
I'm sipping. I'm sipping after Friday night. What a night.
The
So I'm
Friday
sipping.
night. That was fun.
What was your total on the Christmas sales? Did you get past 6?
Did we what? I'm sorry.
Did you get past 6 Christmas sales?
I was 6.5. I drank 6.5 of them.
Wow. On Friday's show, if you didn't tune in, the three of us decided to have a shit show on Friday night where we all drank 6 Christmas ales live on the show. And if you didn't tune in, it was extra shitty. Wow. And Roger went to 6.5. I think we fried his brain. He's been really weird since. Are you okay, Roger?
I'm still a little lightheaded. And then I get Christmas beer for Christmas as gifts. I love it. It's the best beer you can get is Christmas beer. And I got some Pimp My Sleigh. So I'm like, I don't want no Christmas ale tonight. So I get this. This is like 10.5%. And I have that in my cooler tonight. So I made a mistake with that. So I might get accidentally drunk again.
Nice. Well, you love to see it.
Yeah.
We do have some big news, though. This is big for Roger and Roger's old friends. We are streaming on Facebook tonight.
Nice.
This
My
is the moment
family and
Roger's been
friends.
waiting for. So
Yes.
you can share your fake news and your Crappy Browns podcast.
That's right.
Man, I'm excited about the Facebook thing. My mom is too.
She's going to be so proud of you, Roger.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
man.
every time the Browns get a win, we bring our good friend Eddie
Yes.
on to Jug. And I'm pretty sure the Browns did indeed beat the Houston Texans. So, Eddie, welcome back to the Dog Chug. How's it going there?
Edward.
King Edward.
You were right, Andy. They did beat the Houston Texans this past week. And not only did they beat them, they beat their ass. And the score was close, but that wasn't indicative of the game. They beat their ass. They're now at 10 wins. And tomorrow night, we get to watch them vie for the playoffs. They win and they're in. Win and in. That's it. And you guys will be there, as I've been told earlier. Nice.
Yep.
Some of us will be.
Yeah.
Roger, I need you to get there, dude. I just need you to find a way, buddy. So shout out to you for 7 Christmas beers. That's impressive because I would not have made it to 7. I would have struggled to get through 6. So shout out to you.
How was the party you were at on Friday?
Well, I was at my buddy's house playing darts first, and then we went to the bar, and it ended up being a great night. So I couldn't complain.
There you go.
All right. Did you
Nice.
did you get laid? Everyone wants to know.
Not that evening.
Well,
It's all right.
okay.
It's all right. Things are working.
Well,
Things are working in my favor.
I think what's going to happen though is when everyone sees you chugging this beer, then you're going to be set up. To
Actually, it's not even a beer tonight. I got gifted these pumpkin spice lattes for Christmas from my buddy at work, and it's orange, so they're orange and white for the Browns tomorrow. And you know, it's. I thought it was necessary. It was a free gift. I'm out of the beer my dad got me for Christmas, so there's some pumpkin spice latte. $10 more to the cancer research. We'll gather that up, and hopefully more people donate with us. Homage.com. Check them out.
All right. Well, I'm going to chug with you here. Let's go.
We got it.
Go Browns.
10-5. Go playoff Browns.
Go Browns.
All right. I'm still sipping.
There we go. A little bit.
Pimp
Wow.
some homage.
Well done. That was good form. If there's any single ladies out there, please go up to Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania and go
North of Pittsburgh. Yeah, go north of
go
Pittsburgh.
north of Pennsylvania and bang Eddie, please.
Just slide my DMs. I'm good with that. Look at all these people. There's 40 people watching this. If someone can slide right in my DMs, at Canward15 right there, my DMs are open. You shoot your shot. I love when shooters shoot. You shoot your shot. I'm good.
All right. Well, with that, we can't wait to see you next week after another Browns win.
Yeah.
You
That's
know-
my-
Browns win.
Next week, when we win tomorrow, I will chug a beer, and I'll also chug a shot of Hennessy like I promised. We'll do that too.
Oh,
Love it.
nice.
Looking forward to that.
All right.
So thanks again, Eddie, for coming on and doing a chug. We always appreciate it. Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Oh, wow. So obviously the three of us have to make up fake female accounts, right? And start catfishing him. I mean, that's got to happen, right?
We'll just be like, we'll be a girl in Pittsburgh who's a Browns fan who's like, I got to get away from all these Steelers fans. Find me a place to go. I know a place to go. North of Pittsburgh.
North of
Go over
Pittsburgh.
to King Edward's. He's got darts and beer.
All right. And a good ability to chug. I mean, not great like me, but the guy
He's
can
gotten
chug.
better throughout the year.
Hey, I can chug.
All right. Well, with that, I think we're going to go to the dog chug updates.
Woo.
All right. Here we go. Amari Cooper was named Offensive Player of the Week after catching 11 passes for 265 yards and 2 touchdowns. This, along with David Njoku catching 22 passes for 239 yards and 4 touchdowns over the past 3 games. You know, a lot of you idiot fans on social media complaining about our receivers this season. Did they just magically go from playing shitty to great? Or is it possible there's a correlation between consistent quarterback play, kind of like Andy being able to chug like a moron, and having half a healthy liver for another year and a half at least?
That's right. Moving forward, let's try and go in order.
Yeah. Roger, you threw me off there.
All right. Joe Flacco is making a late push for comeback player of the year, and it appears this one is going to come down to the final drive in the fourth quarter where Joe will take charge of the huddle, inspire the rest of the guys, and throw an absolute dime while Baker Mayfield blows it harder than his passenger at the Cheesecake Factory. Ugh,
Oh, got him.
so bad.
Had to slide one in there, didn't you?
Oh,
Also making a push is Kevin Stefanski, who is the odds-on favorite to win Coach of the Year, as he has the Browns poised to make the playoffs despite battling so much adversity. Meanwhile, a third of the Browns fans on social media are still calling for his head because he doesn't run the ball as much as the shitty teams in the NFL set to enter the offseason next week.
Nice. All right. So if you thought the Bengals were insufferable all offseason, praising their team being the Super Bowl favorites, it turns out they're even worse when the team is about to be eliminated from the playoffs. I haven't heard a fan base whine and make this many excuses for their lost season since the last couple times a candidate lost the presidency. Guys, it's pretty simple. You have a young QB that's good enough to mask a terrible coach that is about to go 0-6 in the division, an average defense, and the lamest 12th man in the NFL that inspires nobody. But thankfully, Burrow is that good and will bounce back next season until the next time your awful O-line gets him injured again. Until then, here's a pro tip. Abandon your fandom temporarily, go back to your caves, and get back to focusing on shitting into those Skyline chili buckets to inject some money into your economy to be slightly less third worldish than Kentucky.
Oh, boy. That's Hamilton County. Head coach of the Jets, Robert Saleh, confirmed he had zero regrets over not calling Joe Flacco after seeing the veteran QB's success with the Browns. You've got a top defense, a long-suffering fan base, and instead of bringing in a winner, you stick with the trash at the position and then decide to sign Aaron Rodgers to the active roster, which means having to cut a healthy player just so Rodgers can work out with the guys. If you thought there was a decent chance of winning tomorrow, how about the fact their players now hate their coach as much as ours hated Hugh Jackson?
It's pretty much.
all right. My turn again. In a freak situation, the Browns lost both their kickers in that game against Houston, and then their emergency kicker, which turned out to be their punter, who got injured a couple of minutes later, creating a situation the Browns couldn't kick off, hit extra points, and could only punt using squib kicks. It didn't appear to slow the Browns down as they executed multiple two-point conversions, got great field position, and were 5 for 9 on 4th downs. In other news, the Browns have cracked the code that special teams are less important than pennies and will be creating 3 roster spots in 2024. And said to Pro Bowler Dustin Hopkins, good luck in your future endeavors, you fucking kicker.
Now we got Rodgers' top 10.
Ah, man, I think that's what threw me off as I changed the order on my iPad. But anyway.
Yep. A little technical glitch, that's all.
Yeah. We'll get it right one of these days. This Ross came up with a topic, and it was the top 10 all-time Browns fans jinx. This is over the history of the Browns. Top 10 all-time Browns fans jinx. Here we go. Number 10. Drafting a kicker in the 4th round was Andrew Berry playing chess, not checkers. That turned out to be a jinx. Number 9. Hugh Jackson is exactly what this franchise needs at the helm. That turned out to be a bad take. Number 8, Deshaun Watson showed up today and led his team and played like a franchise quarterback today. I doubt he could do that. I was wrong. He earned his paycheck today. That was me. And the next day went on the IR. Very next day. Number 7, every single Brown fan saying they felt good about 2017.
Yep.
Number 6, I woke up feeling dangerous, says every fan dick riding Baker Mayfield before 2019 training camp. That was bad.
Not good.
Number 5, every single Nick Carn pom-pom waving and goddamn rah-rah tweet in 2019 and 2021. They were all jinxes. Number 4, let's fucking go. There's no way Elway drives 98 yards against our defense. That was me on January 11th, 1987.
God damn it, Roger.
That was my fault. Number 3, don't ask me for playoff tickets. Mike Holmgren to the media, December 2011. Number 2, John Dorsey's first ever head coach hire will be a Hall of Famer, buddy boy. That didn't work out. And the number 1 all-time Browns fans jinx, fuck Paul Brown. This new owner, Art Modell, wants to win. And that is the all-time Cleveland Browns fan jinx is on the team.
That was
over the years.
That was more painful than drinking the 6 Christmas ales. Gotta say. I had all those cakes.
I'm not going to say anything about all these games coming
So walk down memory lane.
Roger, stop tweeting or whatever they call it these days.
Actually, we're going to just end the podcast right now.
Okay. It's been a good week. Oh my God. Well, we can't end this week because we have a great guest.
Yes.
You guys know him on X. He's he does the Bradley Cooper, what movie is that from?
He could let us know.
He'll let us know. But anyway, the hilarious, we finally get respect videos, and every week it manages to crack me up. You know him as Angry Browns fans. Welcome to the Dog Chug.
What up, fellas?
Hey.
Thanks for coming on.
How we doing?
We appreciate it. We appreciate your stuff. It's great. It makes me laugh. I always love people on social media that aren't here to like just be completely incessantly negative to a fault or positive. Let's just make people laugh. And you do that. So I appreciate the hell out of you. And I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Actually started the Instagram account is kind of the bread and butter. Started taking I was like, you know what? If you're going to do this shit, just tweet out the stuff as well. But Instagram has like more forgiving music, like laws or something.
Oh, yeah.
I did. Like I've had tweets taken down a couple of years. And I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to get canceled here pretty soon. So I kind of slowed down, if you will. I still might. So who knows? I mean, injuries, me canceling myself. It's kind of like the year of shit happening, but life goes on. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Since Elon's come on, have they softened their stance on like music playing for 5 seconds? Does anyone know?
So I don't know. I've had some like basically 3 years ago, I tweeted something with music that went pretty, I would say, mega viral. It was like, have you ever seen the movie Hot Rod?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's the scene where they're like, it's playing some song where they're like marching in together and the town just starts looting and everyone goes crazy. And I did that for the Browns going into the playoffs. And it had like 2 million views or something. I'm like, oh, this is sick. And then like a week later it was canceled. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. Better not do that again. And then I don't know if I just got bored or wait. I don't even think I was like, oh, Elon's in. Now I can do it. I don't know. I just haven't been flagged lately. And I'm like, oh, please don't cancel Bradley Cooper. It's like,
don't. My God, no, do that. Well, that's Genie. That's David Bowie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the audio, there's like a scene in it where they listen to the recording that'll dub over Jim Donovan or something. And like, I don't know if that's throwing off the algorithms or
it probably is. Yeah.
But I'm like, all right, haven't gotten canceled yet. Let's keep going, Brownie.
If you're gonna post something, just throw Jim Donovan in there in the middle, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, maybe they listened to it and they're like, yeah, you know what? The Jim Donovan guy's kind of sick. We'll keep it going.
All right, so you are Angry Browns fans. Who are you angry towards?
Honestly,
It's plural.
yeah. So I chose the Instagram name. I was like, what's something that, like, so at the end of 2017, like, I think I made it like right after Baker was drafted, and I wasn't even like a Baker fan at that point. I was like, you know what? They have a bunch of draft capital, and they just brought over Landry, Tyrod Taylor, who had like led the Bills to a playoff appearance right before that. I'm like, what's a sick name? Angry Browns fans. Oh, it's ironic. Like, let's go with that, even though I'm not like really angry. And now I have this name, and I'm like, okay, I can't abandon it yet. But then people will meet me in public. They'll be like, Angry Browns fan. I'm like, God, what a stupid fucking name. So I'm not really angry. Maybe at myself for liking this team.
Well,
I'm more sad. And
social
sometimes
media
happy.
does kind of have a lot of extremes and nonsense and lameness. I get angry when I read it, especially like after a Browns loss. People overreact. It's annoying to me.
Yeah.
Are there people on social media that irritate you?
Are there? Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, basically, I think there's a lot of nonsense on social media. So are there people that bother you that you're like, come on, you could do a little better than that?
Are you guys familiar with Nick Carnes?
Yeah, he's our boss.
Okay.
At the network, yeah.
So over the 5 years of doing this Cleveland Browns specific meme thing, I've come across a lot of like fellow Cleveland internet people that I've met in real life. It's like, oh, look, we tweet at each other sometimes. I love your stuff. I like your stuff too. Nick Carnes is the only person I think I would walk up to, look him in the eye, and say, your tweets make me want to kill myself regularly. You're jinxing this franchise. As Roger pointed out, you came up numerous times on the jinxing thing. Like, seems like a super nice guy. He's probably great. I don't know, but I'm like, do you realize what you're if you go to his Twitter line and type in franchise, and all the time he says, we got a franchise quarterback. It's like, you have destroyed the careers of however many players that have played for this struggling franchise. Like, do you need the retweets? Do you need the clicks? What are you doing? I don't believe, like, I was like, hey, dude, I started commenting recently, like, you're jinxing them. He's like, I promise I'm not jinxing them. And some guy tweeted, like, I thought he was tweeting at me, so this is kind of irrelevant. But the guy said, I don't think you know how jinx work. And I'm like, what do you mean I don't know how to jinx work? I'm like, that's exactly how jinx works. He's like, I was talking to Carnes. I'm like, yeah, fuck you, Carnes. You're jinxing us.
He'll take that as a compliment. You're putting him in high regard. Like, we always say jinxes are like the big time media, like the radio guys or ESPN. Like when ESPN would start talking about the Browns, like
Jessica.
that, like the ESPN said we have a 99% chance of making the playoffs. I'm pissing my pants because they said that.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm like, you guys realize we are the Michael Jordans of defying statistical everything, and this would be like maybe the number one. It's like when we were like, bring up the Jets game last year when they started talking. I'm like, dude, there's still time on this clock, and they're throwing out Jurassic Park references. Was the last time the Browns were 2-0. I'm like, I looked at my buddy Kev, and he was like, I don't like that. And then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's like, then it happened. They start throwing out the stats of like, oh, the only team to lose after being up 2 scores with 1:30 left. 4 teams have done it. The Browns were 2 of them. And it's like, yeah, that does happen. So can we not do, like, Carnes did something? It's like, oh, Pittsburgh Steelers are 7-8, and it's like, dude, they're 1 or 2 games behind us. Can we like get a little more breathing room, or like make sure that we're out of harm's way of them? Yeah. Before we start throwing these Hail Marys out there, like, I get it.
I-
I get that you don't believe in jinxes, but it's really dumb not to at this point.
Hey,
Like
I
every
guess
time an
he's
announcer's
a-
on and he's like, yeah, the so-and-so kicker is perfect at this distance. It's like, well, you just screwed that kicker.
right.
Well, Nick Carnes has that kind of power now. That's interesting.
He does, but he doesn't realize it. And I'm like, you're being negligent.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. He's a good guy. I love Carnes. We went to the Cavs game the other day. I had a blast. But he really needs those followers to validate things for him. He just needs it.
Yeah. There's
He's-
times where I'm like, Nick, please don't. Please don't.
Just kidding, Nick Carnes. I love your tweets. They're great.
I almost
I'll have to send you. I made a meme of Carnes once. I don't know if I put it on Twitter or just in the group messages. I took the Thanos picture and put Carnes' face on it. Seems to be pretty fitting for this.
No, that's spot on. And it's like, it went back to like, I literally, before we jumped on here, to make sure I wasn't crazy, I typed in franchise, and it's like, Deshaun Watson was criticized for being injured and something. And I'm like, oh, well, he did that 2 days before he was out for the season. Cool. Hope it was worth it.
Roger has been very anti Deshaun for a long time. And he finally, as he mentioned in this top 10, said, okay, I believe in Watson. He got it done. I'm not going to talk any more shit. And then like 4 hours later, he was on IR.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel like my getting of my own hopes up, like that game against Baltimore, that was the best regular season Browns win.
Yeah.
Maybe probably since the team came back. And it was like, wow, you guys defied the odds and kept fighting. Deshaun Watson throws that pick six in the beginning and was able to battle back after that. And he just looked like a damn killer in that second half. And I'm like, this is it. Like, let's go. And
let's go.
We had a happy Monday. We had a happy Tuesday. I watched my kid on Wednesdays, and I was like watching Sesame Street or something with her, and had my phone to the side, and I checked it, and it was like, Deshaun Watson out for the season. That was a text from someone. I'm like, well, that guy's screwing with me. Classic code. And then there were like 12 other texts from people. I'm like, oh, well.
Something's going on.
I was in the middle of writing a top 10 because we had a show that night. And we're having a great time. We're celebrating a win. We're writing a show. And yeah,
that's we have a podcast, the Dogs of War podcast. We typically will record on Wednesdays after, like, if there's a loss,
we do, Zeke.
We can kind of bounce back by Wednesday. If there's a win, I don't know, we're still on cloud nine, so we're like, yeah, Wednesday's the day to do it. And we shifted it back to like late Thursday because we're like, dude, every time we record on Wednesday or Tuesday, another injury gets announced, and it's like, oh, we just did a happy podcast and now everyone is depressed. Like,
right. That's
like we're in danger right now. Like tomorrow morning, we're gonna wake up and be like, oh, Justin Hopkins may never walk again.
But I mean, the team did manage to rebound from all of this shit.
All of it.
The fact that they didn't have any kicking,
despite Nick Carnes jinxing them.
Said, fuck it, we'll figure it out, and they fucking figured it out during that Texans game. That was, I don't know. I love
the thing.
mentality of this team.
I couldn't agree more, and it was just like I don't know what the order was, but like the Chubb loss, that was like one of the most devastating things ever.
Horrible.
Like various players since and then, including Deshaun, and they just kept fighting and keep fighting, and you're like, it's almost like, not to compare us to the troops like World War II, but like, have you ever seen Band of Brothers, where it's like by the end of the series, it's like they're all just so hardened and callous, and it's like somebody dies and they don't even care anymore. Which is I respect the truth. I love Band of Brothers. Thank you for your service, guys who are no longer with us. But I'm like, that's after like the Hopkins news and Blork has, like, I didn't even blink. And I'm like, geez, I'm basically Band of Brothers now.
Yeah, I was sick to my stomach after Nick Chubb, and you're right. I didn't even blink.
Like, I was still pretty shook after Deshaun, after Maurice Hurst. I'm like, oh, that sucks, but whatever. And then, like, when you say out loud what occurred, you did earlier, Roger, it's like, oh, the Browns have like the most meaningful win on Christmas in years, dominating Houston, and they lost the place kicker by trying to tackle it. He pulls a hammy, and then like a couple plays later, oh, the punter hurt himself by place kicking. It's like, oh yeah, no, that would happen not only to the Browns, but especially to the Browns this year. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with this franchise?
Yep.
And it's like, well, yeah, they'll figure it out. Like, I don't know how these guys are. They're badass though. Like you said, that mentality is. I am so proud of them. Like, they do not stop.
Do you know, we've faced adversity the last few years, Baker's shoulder, whatever the fuck is going on last year, and it seemed to affect the team way more. How much do you think it had to do with, and maybe this is minor, maybe it's major, I don't know, but getting together at that resort in the middle of West Virginia for a week before training camp started? Like, do you think that was, because I kind of think that was a big deal. Like, it just galvanized this team, made them buy into something.
I think it's. I'm not a Stefanski hater. I'm a Stefanski neutral, I would say. I think that him getting off Coach of the Year maybe screwed him when he got it year one. Like, if you look at the stats, the Browns were bottom third in defense and offense that year. I think they had a weak schedule. And then he took that award to smugly think, I'm invincible. I can do no wrong. And it's like, well, we've had the shittiest defense since you've been here, except for part of 2021. And what I'm getting at is, I think Jim Schwartz is the main turnaround.
Got it. And then which obviously go out there, play with your swagger. Team is they
everything the guy says in the interviews. He's just like, you can tell that those guys want to run through brick walls for him, for each other. And if the defense comes alive, tell me that doesn't jack up the offense as well. And
yeah, it does.
And like, again, I do not want Stefanski to get Coach of the Year, because I don't want him to think that, like, oh, I did it. It's like, no, you got Jim Schwartz, jackass. You had Joe Woods for 3 years and the shittiest defense for 3 years. And then we have basically the same players, but all of a sudden they go from one of the worst defenses in the league to the absolute best. It's like, oh, did you just start coaching defense now? No, you hired the right guy. Barry did, whoever. And it's like, I don't know. So Greenbrier, maybe. I think it's Schwartz, but that's speculation.
No, I totally. Yeah. Look, our old defense coordinator was not utilizing our talent at all. It is crazy that it's essentially the same defensive unit, and now they look like elites, where they looked like they couldn't even line up sometimes. So that comes down to your defense coordinator. And I think, Nick Carnes, if you're wondering how to be more Angry Browns fans approved, you should listen to Jim Schwartz press conferences and then use some of those words in how you tweet out.
Just don't say a goddamn thing about Jim Schwartz, Nick Cards. That's all we have.
No, I'm saying use that as your
take his language.
Language. Yeah. Anyway. All right, so we're gonna play a little game that we like to play on the Dog Jug called Spit Sip Chug. I'm going to read a statement. If you strongly agree, you're going to chug and explain why. If you strongly disagree, you're going to spit and explain why. And if you're somewhere in the middle, like Roger, you're going to sip. Roger, I'm going to give you permission to sip this week.
He's going to fill up.
Thank you.
All right. He's filling up.
Yeah. Very important to fill up.
Roger, how do you think the show's going so far?
Oh, Andy, I think it's a hit. I think it's a big hit. I think
big hit. Best show yet.
I'm sure that Nick Carnes is going to love it.
By the way,
Fucking better not. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Nick.
by the way,
don't hate
Roger
you.
is the one that recruited our guest tonight. He worked very hard to get Raleigh to come on tonight. So good job, Roger. And
You DM'd me. You DM'd me once, Roger,
What did he really
did.
send you?
and I
One
said
DM.
okay. And I said okay.
Right. And then you're like, hey, if the Browns win, I'm in. And then I go out of the blue, I'm in.
Yeah, it's true. That did happen.
all right, and Jacob does point out that the backfield is pretty similar, linebackers pretty similar, but defensive line has been rebuilt, and I think a lot of our secondary is crediting the pressure that they're getting, which they've been very effective. So there is some credibility, I would say. But how would you respond to that, Raleigh?
What was the parameters of the game again?
No, we had a
we
random
haven't
comment.
started the game yet. Yeah, I'm off topic.
We have a comment from a listener.
This is Jacob Roach. He's the other boss.
Oh, Jacob Roach.
He's an expert, by the way.
Nice. But how's the same unit? So he said that the D line was bolstered.
The D line has been rebuilt.
The defensive line is a counterpoint that I agree with. The defensive line, that does help, but shit, like they still didn't know how to tackle anyone in the secondary or at the defensive line prior to this year.
There were a lot of guys
their
out of position.
assignments.
I mean, they kept shifting blame. Like year one, it was Sendejo did everything wrong. It's like, how are you going to blame the guy that's a backup safety that we picked up? It's like
I'm going to tell you, and Stefanski didn't fire him. He should have fired him when he didn't send the house after Chad Henne on 3rd and 14. He sent 3 guys and let Henne run around and throw the football. I would have fired Joe Woods then and saved everybody all of it, and he didn't. But I also think that Joe Woods was kept around to be a scapegoat because they didn't put any money into the defensive line because Deshaun Watson wasn't playing for 11 games, and they had no idea what the season was going to be. And Joe Woods was basically the punching bag for the season. And it was Joe Woods' fault. Then they fired him. So I agree with that because he deserved it for not sending the house after Chad Henne.
I think the order of operations, or not the order of operations, the order of scapegoats. Year one, everyone blamed Andrew Sendejo, which was that same year, which I felt kind of bad for Sendejo. Yeah. It's like, okay, it's not like he came in here with like rock star money. Like he was a backup, whatever. It's like, yeah, our defense still sucked. Don't get me wrong. And then it was Joe Woods needs all of these safeties, like the 4-man safety setup or whatever. Yeah. Year two, he got it. And it took him half of a season to figure out. Year two. And then like at the back half of it, they did look
better,
like a badass defensive unit. They're winning in spite of Baker, yada yada. And year three, granted, that's when they finally fired him. But it's like we see this stuff as fans, and we kind of speculate. Sometimes we agree with the narrative, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we make up a narrative, whatever. It's like the only person
a lot here at Dog Show.
Yeah, the only person with proximity to the situation to see how these players are improving, communicating, playing together, how the coaches and the players are interacting. The only person close enough with the authority to do anything about it is the head coach. I feel like he whiffed on that. Like, I do not believe that he looks at the defensive side. Kind of another argument in my favor of that Stefanski is neutral, in my opinion, is of all the players drafted in this regime on the defensive side of the ball, prior to this year, the only guy that got better outside of like Garrett and Denzel Ward was Taki. Like none of the other players got better on defense.
Delpit. Until this year, I guess.
No, Delpit looked
Delpit's been solid this year.
But he looked good. He looked horrible, and then he looked really good towards the end of last year.
Yeah, like exactly. like you could, God, and they put him on the fucking podium after the Jets game. Like, I don't know what the hell he's supposed to talk about. And then, like, he had some dope picks on the second half of the year. Now, I don't put that on dope it. I'm like, it's a 23-year-old kid, 24, however old he is. And it's like, why don't you have a defensive coordinator that knows what the fuck he's doing?
Well, they made that right. They got rid of the defensive coordinator. They got rid of the special teams coordinator. They've massively upgraded those 2 units. And now we're having some success. So
and now we're the team of destiny. So yeah, Stefanski.
Why did you say that? Why did you say that?
No, I always say team of destiny.
It's all right. Nobody watches.
I say it like kind of ironically.
Yeah, if you want to,
you can't jinx the franchise unless you have over 30,000 followers, right? Well,
yeah,
unless your Instagram
if you want to
account's a lot
avoid
higher.
jinxing the franchise, just say your nonsense on the dog chuck because no one watches. It's great.
No, I got you. I feel like it's not jinxing when you're being kind of funny.
Okay.
I decided that.
So here's what you gotta do. Every time you read a Nick Carnes tweet, just laugh afterwards, and you're fine.
No, he's not being funny. I try to redeem it in the comments. I'm like, I'm gonna be funny by
reverse jinx.
By cyberbullying you. Pleading with you to stop. What was the question?
He's just getting started. All right, we're gonna go to Spit Sip Jug. This is gonna be great. Roger, we're gonna start with you. The first statement.
Okay.
If the Browns win this week, they need to sit the majority of the team starters against the Bengals next week.
I'm sipping because I'm allowed.
What does sip mean?
Sip means you kind of are like.
They don't let me sip because I sip a lot because I don't chug beer. So they like forbid me from sipping. So when I'm allowed, I take advantage of it. But
how are you the MC of the dog chug?
I know.
And by the way, just because you say chug, you don't actually have to chug. You could just say chug and give your reasoning.
Oh.
And then you could take like a small chug. You could have like 2 gulps and set the beer down. It's fine. I do that sometimes.
But I like to sip. If the Browns win this week, you know what? I think they do need to sit the majority against the Bengals. No, I don't. I'm going against it because we want to get that home field advantage. We want to win. If we can, we want to beat the Bengals. I think it depends on what the Baltimore Ravens are doing. I don't know what I want to do, so I'm sipping on it, Andy. See, I was right to begin with.
All right, fine. Let me add a little caveat to this statement. If it doesn't matter, if we cannot win the division, then do we sit everybody?
Oh, boy, then I'm going to chug on that. Yeah, I'm sitting everybody. How about that?
Nice. Wow. See, you just got to work with Roger a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Raleigh, we're going to move to you. You say you agree.
You're strongly agree. If you strongly agree, you chug.
I'm drinking red wine. I can't spit red wine.
You can pretend. Yeah, you can pretend to chug.
Okay.
It would be a spit if you agree with Roger.
Yeah, that's a sip, just because it's red wine. But also, I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't be the worst move to like Flacco. Is this will be game 4 or 5? This will be game 5. I'm like, last game, it might make sense to get more reps with the defense, with this offense. But if it's not going to get the division, I'm like, how do you sit? Dude, we talk about sitting everyone as, we'll put in our second stringers. It's like our second stringers are playing, like our second string is our first string. I don't know how that works. But I get kind of uneasy with that concept. Like, I feel like sometimes the first round bye screws people. Like the Packers, after they won the Super Bowl the following year, they had that first week bye and lost round 1. Lamar, his MVP year, they had the bye, lost round 1. The Steelers put in all of their second stringers against us in 2020 and got their dicks kicked in when we played them again, which that was amazing. So yeah, The answer is I don't know, sip, but they got to get healthier.
Yeah.
So probably sit.
Nice. And
I'm also schizophrenic and bipolar. I argue with myself like halfway through a sentence. So sit.
Just to answer Jake's question, I am sure this is
a joke
going to be
or
a
something.
really dumb joke, but it would be Imagine Dragons, I believe. So let's hear the punchline. Ross.
Oh, I'm gonna spit on this because even if we don't win the division, there is this ridiculous scenario where if we have the top wild card seed, we could play another wild card team in the second round or third round, and that could very likely be the Bills. And I would much rather play the Bills with home field advantage. We have one loss at home this whole season, and if that matchup happens, which is in a scenario where, this is hypothetical, I'm not jinxing anything, in a scenario where we win a couple games and we're in the AFC Championship game, the Bills are a very hot team right now, and we could meet them there. I'd like to have home field advantage there.
Nice.
I changed my answer. I agree with you fully.
So you're saying in the second round of the playoffs?
I guess it would be yeah. It could be the division round or the conference championship round, where we'd have to play a wild card team, and if we're the higher wild card seed, we get home field.
Okay.
Not just the Bills, also the goddamn Chiefs. Like, not gonna rule them out.
True. Yeah. Well, they're going to be division champs probably, even with their crappy record.
That's a good point.
It would be them or the Raiders, and yeah, it's going to be.
So
it's not going to be the Colts or a team.
I have a question.
Division.
If we have a better record than, let's say, the Chiefs who win their division, and we play them in the second round, whose city would host that one?
Chiefs would.
The Chiefs would if they're division champs. Unless they're a wild card,
okay,
they still host. If you're a division champ, it always trumps wild card, which is a really dumb rule that they need to change.
Actually, I changed my. Sorry to keep interrupting.
No,
I changed my thing again. Now it's like we've had a dominant home record. Chances are we're not going to be playing any home games in the playoff. So let's figure out how to win on the road. They just had a big one in Houston. That last game of the season's in Cincy. Like, let's keep it going.
Oh crap! I did forget about the Joe Flacco road. The Joe Flacco road win stat. Crap. Actually, we want to be on the road because Joe Flacco's amazing on the road. That's how he won the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's a knock on wood. That's a knock on wood statement.
But
that's a damn Nick Carnes jinx and son of a bitch.
I said the opposite. I said I wanted a home game.
Oh, okay.
The Firm song Radioactive. I don't know.
Gene Simmons sang Radioactive on the solo debut albums, one of the solo albums.
So is it Kiss then? Oh, you're saying solo album. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm going to answer this one. And look, you know how long I've waited to not give a fuck about the final week of the season, which is now week 18.
Yeah. Good
just,
call.
I don't, and plus, good Lord, if something happened and PJ Walker has to start that goddamn game in the playoff, you know how pissed I'd be? Fuck it. Just get the team healthy. Bring everyone back. We lose like 3 players every fucking time. So let's lose like the third stringers instead of losing the starters. So get healthy.
New third stringers.
We'd be losing second stringers at this point.
Yeah, but put the third stringers
Your
in.
point stands, but
anyway.
Yeah, but look how our fourth stringers working out, okay?
I agree, Andy. That's a good one. I'm with you.
4 stringers are where it's at.
All right, so I'm going to chug on that one. So
what's the next one?
Raleigh, we're going to start with you. The Watson contract was worse than the Russell Wilson contract was for the Broncos.
This bad boy might die. It's too early to tell.
You got to make a definitive answer right now.
It's too early to tell. It's a sip. Too early to tell. If he comes back and balls out, sip. If he comes back and sucks ass, it's going to take us a decade to recover. So, granted, they're not going to. So now that probably makes it worse at this point. But, yay, Deshaun! Thank God he beat Baltimore. Because if I didn't have that memory in the back of my head,
it would be a spit.
Yeah.
All right, Russ.
You know what? I am going to spit on it. And this is coming from a known Watson hater myself a little bit. But if we make the playoffs, even if he's injured, it means that it wasn't as big a deal for us to make the signing as it was for the Broncos. Like, they traded away some very valuable draft picks that they needed to bolster their roster, and they don't have Andrew Berry to make up the gaps when they screw up on draft picks and stuff. So we obviously can afford to give up those draft picks, so I don't think it's as harmful to us, or it wasn't as harmful for us to go for a quarterback as it was for them, because obviously we found a way to build our roster without those first-round picks we lost the last 2 years. So with us very, very likely making the playoffs this year, I'm not going to say we're making it, but if we do make it, now I'm in jinx mode. Thanks a lot, Angry Browns fans. But if we do, obviously it's not as bad of a contract as Russell Wilson just by doing that. Even if he's not starting, even if Watson's hurt, it's automatically better because of how the team's doing.
Yeah. Okay, it's your turn.
No, if you want to respond, feel free.
Yeah, you can interject.
Fucking don't. There's no rules here.
The thing that sucks with, or one of the things that sucks with Watson, it's like if Russell Wilson doesn't work out with them,
Ryan, hello.
They're not. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry.
If it doesn't work out with Russell Wilson, the Broncos will stop hearing about it within a year or two. Like, the fans will be pissed about it, but they'll stop hearing about it. If it doesn't work out with Watson, it will be 10 fucking years before we stop hearing the end of how we signed I hate, like, people are like, oh, you signed a rapist. Like, no, he just likes hand jobs a lot, which is, he's weird. He's not a rapist. But we don't have a whole lot of legs to stand on, because when you say what I just said, you can't really say that at the national level. But we wouldn't hear the fucking end of it if he sucks or is mediocre, which sucks to have that, like, level of pressure on you. It's like, hey, you need to go out there and be top 5 or everyone's going to hate you. So it's like it's all his fault, but it's like, the expectations that came with his contract put a lot of pressure on him to succeed. It's like Russ Wilson, guy's got 2 Super Bowls, 1 ring
appearances,
and like, well, I don't know. Plus, he diced us up. But yeah, if it doesn't work out with Watson, so it could still work out with him. It's literally 10 years to recover.
Okay. For me, I got a lot to say here, so I apologize in advance. But first of all, the Broncos were not able to absorb whatever didn't work out between their 2 coaching staffs and Russell Wilson. I don't know, didn't work out, and they're now a team that peaked and then now is going to make the playoffs again. And now they're going to cut bait. I mean, I think I read they're going to cut them in March, and basically all those draft assets and all the money is just gone. And I know we spent a lot more money, and I think we spent a little bit more draft assets, but at the end of the day, we still have 3 more years of the possibility of Deshaun Watson, coming back and looking like he did against Baltimore. I've always said this seems to me to be a completely mental issue. And I think part of the problem is he just hasn't had time to gel with his team. I don't know why Flacco's able to in like 4 minutes, and I can't explain that. But also, the other big factor of this is we have absorbed like not getting anything from Deshaun Watson. Like, we are legitimately a playoff team right now. I mean, we're about to enter the playoffs. It should happen. Not to jinx us, but we're doing that without getting anything from everything we had to pay him, all the draft picks we lost. Part of that's because I think, we're spending $50 million more than every other team each season because of the way Andrew Berry, analytics, and Jimmy Haslam handle business. So I don't agree that we're going to be 10 years of dealing with this. If they said, we're going to cut him tomorrow and we're going to sign Joe Flacco to a 3-year deal, as long as it works, everyone's going to accept what we did, just like Steeler fans accepted Ben Roethlisberger, because when winning comes, no one's talking about the negatives. We're all talking about, let's go, let's win the playoffs. So the Browns have to continue taking care of business. I think there's a realistic chance Deshaun comes back from his injury and, continues his uptrend. I think if he has like a full season, I do believe he is extremely talented and we'll put it together. If that doesn't happen, though, I'm not like, I don't know. After 3 years, I think you could cut him and take the cap hit maybe, or I don't even know if that's, or just have him be on the roster and not start him. Something like that could happen, and find someone. Obviously, our coach has proven that he's pretty adept at getting quality quarterback play out of nothing, really. Not to diminish Joe Flacco, but obviously the league didn't appreciate him at all because they left him on his couch until a month ago when we called props to our guys for doing that. Anyway, it's a long way to say I'm chugging, right? Wait.
Yep.
Yeah. I hear you.
No,
I'm spitting. I'm spitting.
You're spitting.
You just want to
spitting.
drink. That's
Denver
all.
Broncos.
You got to get with the
Screwed up. They can't be changed. They fucked up. We probably fucked up, but that's better than we did fuck up.
I hear that.
You got to get with the guy that wrote these. I'm chugging. I think the Watson contract is worse than the Russell Wilson contract, and the Wilson contract is worse than the Joe Burrow contract, and the Joe Burrow contract is worse than the Jones contract. And they're paying out these hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to these guys, and they're not going to play an entire season. They can't protect the quarterbacks. These guys are getting hurt. Who's going to be the first GM that's going to say, you know what, give me Joe Flacco, give me Kirk Cousins, and give me Case Keenum as my locker room, and give me a solid defense, 2 offensive lines, and divide the money up? You know who's going to be the first one to decide that? I would put my money on it would be a guy like Paul DePodesta.
Oh, God, here you go.
Let's see what. Yes, here we go. We're going into
the baseball analogy.
It only took me to December 27th. And see how many guys you can get the same value out of 3 people that'll put up the same numbers that a Deshaun Watson will in the 10 games, the 6, 7 games that he played. Joe Burrow, these guys are getting hurt. And and these owners, these franchises are sinking unbelievable amounts of money into a guy. And then when he goes down, you're fucked. Somehow, and I know you're against it, somehow Kevin Stefanski has his team at, poised to go into the number 3 seed, getting ready to go into the playoffs. And that alone right there, he deserves the coach of the year because of what he's had to deal with. We've had 4 different quarterbacks play. That deserves some recognition. Yeah, I think the contracts that they're paying all these quarterbacks are worse than the next one and the next one because it's franchise crippling when they go down.
Hey, Roger, you know what I love about Joe Flacco?
What?
He gets on base.
He gets on base. His barrel percentage is up, Ross. His barrel percentage.
Baseball is
he
hard.
puts the bat on the ball.
All right, we're going to move along to statement number 3. Ross, we're going to start with you.
Some guy in the comments said, did Deshaun Watson not go 5-1 this season? I mean, that's fair. I get that. And this kind of ties on to what you were saying, Roger. I mean, his stats fucking blow.
Wow.
They do.
I think he showed signs. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for Deshaun Watson. I will never come after him in meme form or like try to run him out of town because I'm like, one way or another, we are married to him. They're not going to cut him until and I don't want him to. I hope he can pull through this shit. But it's like, dude, you've thrown since he's been in Cleveland. It's like 14 touchdowns, 9 picks. It's like, okay, that's not exactly humming it. And when we were talking about Stefanski earlier, since prior to Flacco, our defense has held it down. every game.
Oh yeah, they carried everybody.
Which, again, that's more of a Jim Schwartz thing. And I'm not trying to take away from Stefanski, but I don't want him to get the fucking coach of the year and go back to thinking that he's God. Because if Schwartz is gone, we're back to square fucked.
Yeah, we definitely want Schwartz to be here long term.
And I know I'm not getting cookies from Lana, so yeah, you're right, Jim Schwartz. Fuck Kevin Stefanski.
Not fuck Kevin Stefanski. I'm just saying I'm not putting you on a pedestal.
I know. I'm joking.
Okay. All right, Ross, with DTR going on IR, the Browns need to sign another quarterback, so I never have to watch another play with PJ Walker.
This might.
Ooh, there's a good one.
This is tough. God, this is.
Do you need time?
Yeah, we have to drink. Okay.
Whoa.
We keep praising Stefanski for working with all these quarterbacks and figuring them out so quickly. If he can sign veteran Joe Flacco, I get kind of annoyed with people saying off the couch. Obviously, he's been in shape and doing some stuff. He wasn't just on the couch. Oh, hey, I got a text from the Browns. No, he's probably training or doing something.
Shots fired.
Anyways, he came off the couch. But no, he can get another veteran and tell him exactly what he wants him to do real quick and be better than PJ Walker. So yeah, sign another quarterback. Joe Flacco might be an anomaly, but I think we should definitely sign another one. Plus, I really wanted to drink this beer.
All right.
Hey, can you go right without my mic?
It's kind of in and out a little bit, but it's not as consistent as it was, maybe.
All right, I'm going to go on a fucking rant. Here we go, because it's kind of cool. All right, that's my podcast. But we had Greg Williams on and
Nice.
Wow, Josh Cribbs back-to-back weeks. No big. Greg and his son Blake was a linebackers coach for the Browns in 17 and 18. Yep. But he came on and said, I told Andrew that I was super proud about the Joe Flacco signing at that point in the year because Flacco has been running we nodded yes, we agree, or we know what you're talking about, Greg. He's like, it's called the Billy Rubin offense, where basically you have based on every formation, the quarterback goes up and he has a menu of 5 plays to choose from. It's the most complicated list in the NFL. You have to be very cerebral. I'm like, no idea what that is. Flacco's been running it his entire career. And his son was agreeing with it and said that Deshaun, he's different. He didn't rip on Deshaun. He wasn't throwing him under the bus, but he did. It was Deshaun's not that kind of player. And I'm like, oh, so he's not really smart. That sucks. Part of the success could be cerebral coach and a cerebral quarterback. And when name dropping left and right, Cribbs came on, he was talking about the off the couch statement you were talking about. He goes, I hate that statement because was he sitting on a couch at one point? Probably. But Joe Flacco was training nonstop. He was keeping his body in shape. He was practicing throwing with receivers in college and whatnot. He said, our philosophy is in the professional is it's better to be over prepared for a situation that doesn't come than under prepared for a situation that does come. And seeing Flacco and the total professional he is, it's he's adhering to that shit.
Yeah.
Hey, we got our first like on Facebook. Look at that.
Fuck yeah.
Jimmy Powell. Is that one of Roger's friends?
Who was it?
Jimmy Powell?
It's definitely an uncle.
It's probably related to Roger.
Yeah.
All right. And I love hearing that statement. I mean, and listen, the only reason I continue pointing out that Flacco is on the couch is just because I like dunking on all the teams that weren't able to bring him in.
Oh, for sure.
Because at the end of the day, I think Andrew Berry is the top 3 general manager in the league right now. And I like to sing his praise, and by bringing in a guy that no one was even thinking of and then getting this kind of performance is outstanding. So I like dunking on all the the Bengal fans, they are insufferable. They're so annoying, and they're whining about if we had Burrow, we would have won this game and that game. I want to punch them all in their like. Reading Bengal fans is like when you read Nick Carnes. It drives me crazy.
I'd be saying the same thing though. Like,
sure, but why doesn't your front office go get another solution? Like that's what you should be focused on. Why your team didn't have an answer if Burrow goes down.
That's true.
And look, their whole team is Burrow, so I get it, and it sucks that he is injured and not available. But I love that we have a team that if we
Cavs
lose,
won.
Wow, that's amazing. They were playing so bad today. That's awesome. I love that we have a team that could lose, a guy like Deshaun and not even miss a beat and just say, okay, we're gonna go to plan C and that'll work. So the question statement I'm answering though, DTR going in there, the Browns need to sign another quarterback so we don't have to see another play with PJ Walker. Look, if we have to see PJ Walker again, it's going to like really cause issues internally in me because that fucking sucks. Watching that guy play quarterback is awful. However, have you guys seen like the 15 quarterbacks that are starting this week in the NFL because like so many injuries are happening at quarterback and so many guys have sucked and now they're going to like their fifth options. There's no one out there. You can't go find another Joe Flacco or whatever. PJ Walker is all we got. So if we have to turn to him, he's gritty. Maybe I'll make a play. I don't know. I'm gonna root for PJ Walker, I guess, if that has to happen. Hopefully it doesn't. So don't sign another quarterback. We got what we got. Spitting.
Big fat spit.
Roger.
Oh, GTR going on the IR. The Browns need to sign another quarterback. I'm chugging at you. Not only do they need to sign another quarterback, and of course he'll be third string behind. They like to carry three quarterbacks. They have to consider what they're going to do next year. They have to. They have to be prepared. Joe Flacco is going to get an offer from somebody to start somewhere. He probably would like whoever does that and gives him offer probably like to get Gary Kubiak to come and run the offense because that's what Kevin Stefanski does. And that's why Joe Flacco is being successful here in Cleveland because he ran Gary Kubiak's offense when he won a Super Bowl.
That's not the statement.
I'm just telling you that the Browns need to give Joe Flacco whatever he wants to sit behind Deshaun Watson because he's going to get hurt again next year.
All right. Roger's answering, should we re-sign Joe Flacco?
Sure.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean,
go for it. We did that last week.
All right.
That's last week's.
Yeah, they need to sign another quarterback because the way people are dropping for the Browns, we need somebody else.
All right.
Right.
How about that?
So hey, Andy,
hold on, Roger. Let me just one question: is that person going to be elevated above PJ Walker, or is that person going to be the third string?
It depends. You know what? Let's see. Minnesota bench Josh Dobbs. He might be available. See if you can get Josh Dobbs back over here.
Okay.
Then I'd elevate him above PJ Walker. But somebody coming in cold, no, you can't. PJ Walker, you got to roll with them now.
All right. Fair enough.
All right. Andy, I'm gonna modify your last statement to make it a little.
Thank you.
More positive. How about that? Maybe more Nick Carnes like, if we would say.
There you
go. What would Nick Carnes say?
He loves it.
So the way this round's gonna work is
WWNKS.
What?
We didn't finish.
Oh,
Raleigh didn't get a chance to answer that.
Oh, he didn't do his.
What was that?
Yeah.
By the way, if my phone goes out, it's been real because it might go out here.
I got to be honest. I wasn't paying attention. I was on Facebook.
No, it's fine. John Madden said, and I'm not it's just like a random thing. He said something before he died about teams are going to start needing to get two quarterbacks because the defensive lines and like DNs are just getting so much more badass and like unstoppable. And it's like, there's a lot of truth to that. Granted, a lot of these injuries have been like fluke, weird, like ACL, whatever. So who knows? But are we talking about this year or next
Yeah,
season?
yeah, right
This
now.
year.
Yeah, like going into the playoffs, we need another quarterback so that we don't have to have PJ Walker.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like you're not going to get somebody that's better than PJ Walker at this point. I'm at the point where it's like if Flacco goes down, then I'm just going to play the violin on the Titanic and go down with the ship and say, let's bring it back next year. It's like who gives, like, they're on their fourth fucking starting quarterback. Like, it was a good run. PJ Walker, you beat goddamn the
49ers.
Niners.
Yeah.
DTR, you held. God, the DTR injury. It's like,
Beat the
wow.
Steelers.
How did you get
Salt in the wound.
overshadowed by? He got overshadowed by kicker injuries. It's insane. It's like, oh my god, the kickers are going. DTR, yeah, obviously he's hurt too.
I was so excited. The thought of DTR starting that Bengals game and getting him a game that probably wouldn't matter, and then for whatever
Like getting
reason,
the win.
yeah, I mean, it would be so fun to get him a win there or to continue playing good like he played against Denver. And oh my God, he gets injured in like 2 plays. Why aren't they running the ball at that point? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is what it is.
It's a coach of the year. Coach of the year play
fair
call.
enough. Hey, Kevin has warts, and I'm not. I'm a fan, but I'm not. There are things that he does that irritates me. So that's fine.
Saving Private Ryan didn't get Best Picture of the Year. Shakespeare in Love got it. Awards mean jack shit if they're not the Lombardi Trophy. That's a fucking sick line. You guys, when you guys splice up your little podcast and you post clips of it, do that.
That's the clip. Roger, post that clip. I know you're sleeping right now.
It was at the hour and 6
What on the Browns need to sign another quarterback?
Okay. All right. Ross, you modified.
Yeah, I made it a little more Carnesian instead of.
And we're gonna modify this.
Yeah. So I barely did. I took the knot out.
Yeah,
So
we're basically just we're gonna give you a scenario, answer to the best of your ability, and if the other members agree, we're either gonna chug or spit.
Oh, okay.
So if you agree or disagree with the person,
we lost.
What happened?
He said
his phone was about to die. So
that's actually a very smooth way to get out of the dog show.
Yeah.
Applause. A round of applause to him.
Well done.
Well done. Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best ending we ever had.
And by the way,
Veteran move.
what he was fantastic. Roger, props to you
Veteran
for
move.
getting it.
All right.
So yeah, you
All
know
right,
how
we'll
this
finish
works,
this.
Roger. Yeah.
Roger, we'll start with you then. Which is the most likely to happen? Kevin for Coach of the Year, Schwartz for Assistant Coach of the Year, Barry for Executive of the Year, or Flacco for Comeback Player of the Year?
Ooh. I'm up for comeback podcaster of the year. Just so you guys, I don't know if you guys found that out. I am. But I'm going to go with the most likely to happen is going to be Kevin Stefanski for Cody.
Coach of the Year. Nice.
Yeah. I'm going to chug on it. I'm chugging.
Why?
Yeah, I think it's a done deal.
You got to give your explanation. Why is he the most deserving?
Me?
Yeah.
Or Ross?
Oh my God.
Oh.
You're up.
Okay. Well, I like I said earlier, because the guys had 4 different quarterbacks. He had PJ Walker in there playing in an NFL game. And it's just Jim Schwartz deserves a lot of credit, but he hired the guy. He went out and he found the right guy to put in charge of his defense. And he turned over the entire defense to him, and he just runs the offense. It made him a better offensive coach. It made him a better head coach. Is it Kevin Stefanski's fault or lack of ability because the team has kind of taken on the persona of Jim Schwartz and the defense? No, because the defense is the best defense in the league. So I think it's natural that the Chicago Bears offense took on the persona of the 95 Bears defense and Buddy Ryan. But that didn't take away from Mike Ditka being the fucking man, right? So I think Kevin Stefanski is a shoe-in. It's already done, and he's the Cody. How about that? Is that good?
All right. Nice. I'm going to sip on that.
Oh.
Ross.
All right. Like I said, I chugged with Roger, so I'm going to have to agree and go Kevin Stefanski for Coach of the Year. Maybe I'll convert you in from a sipper to a chugger on this one, Andy.
Nice. Yep.
Don't overthink it. We're on our 4th goddamn string quarterback. Our defense got turned around, and it's like the best defense in the league. And we're 10-5 with 2 games left in the season. Are you kidding me? If he wins 10 games, makes the playoffs, and loses the next 2, he still might be the guy. Don't overthink it. Just because you're scrolling through Twitter and Instagram, listening to experts, overanalyze it. Just take a few steps back. He's on his 4th goddamn quarterback.
Yep.
That's insane.
Listen, I love it. All right. Okay. I'm going to chug with you on that one.
And he's responsible for the coaching
Talked him
hires.
into it.
He is responsible for signing off on Jim Schwartz, maybe. Maybe that was Andrew Barry. We will never know until he gets fired. But as of now, he's responsible for the defensive turnaround because he hired the dude.
It's true.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
And not to mention the special teams upgrade that we've had this season. It's been pretty phenomenal.
No. The 7 points last week. I'm not a fan.
Well, look,
I think if Angry Browns fans was here, I think we could have convinced them.
Listen, that wasn't a great game against the Texans, special teams wise. However, it's been a great season, and I give our special teams coordinator a lot of credit. Anyway, I'm going to answer this a little bit differently than you guys. I'll see you guys probably spit, but to me, I'm thinking of, and this is probably unfair. I'm not looking at like what they did this season. I'm looking at who am I the most confident is going to be able to sustain the success moving forward. It's very simple. Andrew Barry set this team up to succeed. The coaching staff has implemented it. Andrew Barry found Joe Flacco and convinced him to come to Cleveland when there were a lot of quarterback needy teams kind of in the playoff run. So I give him all the credit. I think he is like our best card to play to keep the Browns succeeding in future years. And I'm going to give him a lot of the credit for the success that we've achieved this year. And I'm going to say Andrew Barry is the most deserving of Executive of the Year. I think it's a shoo-in, actually. So
I'm going to
go AB. All right. Well, I'm going to chug on that.
I'm chugging with you. You know what? I agree with that. You know, another thing about the Jim Schwartz for assistant coach of the year, I absolutely, you know what? I think that he's a shoo-in for that because Jim Schwartz has been a head coach. He's been a head coach. Was he as successful as Kevin Stefanski is?
No.
Maybe time will still yet to tell, but I don't think so. And maybe he's meant to be an assistant coach. Maybe a bridesmaid and never a bride. You know, where a guy like Stefanski is better suited to be a head coach and to manage the entire team. Where Schwartz is an assistant coach of the year, man. You know.
Well said, Roger. I really have to pee, so I think we're gonna cut this one a little bit short. We're gonna skip
picks later.
We'll do our picks later. We'll make a little video of that. That way, Raleigh can join in the fun. Get Weston in there too. Everyone, look for our picks this week. This has been a great show. I'm sorry our guest couldn't be here. He was incredible. I think
great job.
Oh, is he here? Oh, there he is.
Oh.
Look at that!
Right when we were sending you off.
Yeah, I never left. I turned on my laptop, which doesn't let me fucking do this.
You had the black screen going.
All right, so what Roger said about Kevin Stefanski being a shoo-in, he might get a shoo-in, but it doesn't mean fucking shit. Are you telling me that
You're fair? That's fair.
A offensive-minded head coach? Again, I want everybody that's listening to know I want Stefanski to succeed, but I'm very against putting him on a fucking pedestal that he doesn't deserve. That all of the wins that he's had have all been attributed to the defense, except for the Joe Flacco era. Like all of them, whether it was with
PJ Walker,
DTR. It's like that wasn't PJ Walker beating the Niners. That was that was him throwing like 4 picks and 2 touchdowns, and the defense beating him.
My whole goal is to get into your video when the guy's humping the dude on the couch and Roger first thinks Jim Schwartz isn't the reason the defense is the best. I'm just trying to get into one of your videos. That's all.
Yeah, it's too sacred. No offense, but if I do that and I get comments saying, "What the
Roger's
fuck?"
face in there.
Like I'm running
It's
out of
so
ideas
isn't it
for
something you got to walk a line, man? You got to walk a line because like they'll oh you're a Stefanski hater if you say or if you say something negative, not even negative, just critical of Stefanski or anything, it is a fine line that you got to walk. I get it.
I was like the OG Baker bro. Like, I was close with him, and I learned on the like, oh, that doesn't really help you when it fucking goes south. You know what I mean? So it's like that. So I still root for that. I think serve the office, whatever. I can be critical if I want. I try to be critical, but on the positive side, I guess. I'm just like, there's a lot of shit that is wrong with Stefanski that he hasn't self-acknowledged. Like, there's no reason he should be calling plays. Yes, he has had good games, but he's also blown shit for us. You don't have to win for us, but you can't blow it for us.
Yeah.
The Baltimore game, when, who was it? DTR went in last second. They didn't adjust the fucking plays for a rookie for shit. You set him up for total failure. And it's like, oh, well, well, that sucks. Sorry you got mauled, rookie. But that doesn't come back to, but like, that is a high school coach would have made some adjustments.
Oh man, our good friend Brian is commenting. He's about to have an aneurysm because he's like the ultimate Stefanski bro. He's commented like 5 times.
We got Brian, our guy Brian from Spaces. He's the ultimate. You know who you remind me of? I don't know why, but you remind me of from
Week 2, Baltimore.
No, from the movie. No, from the Breakfast Club. You remind me of. I don't know why. I get the vibe from of John Hurt from the Breakfast Club right now.
All right.
I don't know why.
Look, no one can sit there and
look like him.
Kevin Stefanski has had a lot of mistakes, and they're well documented. And that's, I mean, everyone's gonna have mistakes, right?
Everyone will have. This is a theory, and this isn't so much against Stefanski, but head coaches that call plays in general.
Yeah.
It is like nobody's going to bat 1,000. I get that. But you need to remove yourself from that situation. Let's say Stefanski is an A play caller, an A- B play caller.
Yeah.
And AVP, the offensive coordinator, let's say he's a B+ or a B. Have the B do it. Because that should be more what his hyper focus is on.
Clear up.
Like that's his one, not one, but like one of the fewer tasks that he has at hand. Example, head coach is hyper focused on this, clearly doesn't give a fuck about the defense until proven otherwise. It's like, oh, Jim Schwartz came here, but Stefanski, he's the reason that they got better. It's like, no, Jim Schwartz is just better at it. Or Jim Schwartz just is really good at it. If Jim Schwartz is gone, we're back to square fucked. I will stand by that. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he never leaves.
Where's he going?
Pittsburgh.
I thought that he was somebody that might only want to be a DC until the Williams son said that he is biding his time for the right head coach opportunity.
Right.
So I don't know. But where I was going with that was we as fans will get upset when Stefanski calls something really dumb.
Yeah.
What do you think the players think?
Oh, yeah. No, you can see it. When they comment, you can see the frustration.
Like,
What's
you
going on?
You cannot risk losing the locker room by them thinking that you're the dumbest motherfucker of all time on one play.
But hold on a second. Clearly, the Browns locker room seems to very much support Kevin Stefanski. I mean, they fight till the bitter end. They never give up There have been so many games that we've come back from, even if we make like the Seattle game
this year.
Yeah, this game.
This year, yes.
Yes. I think there's a bunch of nonsense. I think this year he's earned the right to be considered for a future contract. If he makes the playoffs, given everything we've been through, I think you got to do it. I don't know if it's
Let me preface this. I want him to get the future contract. I don't want him to get coach of the year. I don't want him to think that he's invincible.
Okay. Fair enough. And you know what? I like that because Baltimore just kicked the shit out of the 49ers. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to lose to Miami this week. I guarantee it. Because now they're all buying into their own shit that they're the fucking crazy.
That's exactly right. Buying into your own shit.
My biggest backing of Stefanski and getting the award or being the accolades is because we're in the division we're in with two head coaches in the division we're in Harbaugh and Tomlin that have been there forever, and sustainability and just it's like I want that for the Browns, and Stefanski is the closest that has even come to scratching the surface of that. So I desperately want him to succeed.
So do I.
Yeah, I
think that the coach of the year will fuck him.
I like what you're saying is in as such. We're let's not make him out let's not put him on a pedestal because he's done some great shit and we all agree with that. But there are some whatever. I like that this team never goes out and sings its praises. They always talk about we have to get better. We have to anytime you hear Jim Schwartz talk, they hold Arizona to like 52 yards and he comes out and says, I was pissed off. I love that. I love that they're saying like, no, we got to clean the shit up that we fucked up instead of focusing on that we just had the dominant performance. I kind of think that's what the coaching staff's mentality is, and Kevin believes that too. I hope. So I don't want to put anyone on a pedestal except Andrew Berry. I think he deserves.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, Kevin is doing a great job. I hope we make the playoffs. I don't want to jinx anything. I think we're going to make the playoffs, but
if they don't make the playoffs, I'm going to kill myself on a live stream on the dog chug.
Instagram's cool with that. Twitter's not.
Look forward to that. I can't wait for that.
In front of my family too. They can come.
So yeah, I think we're gonna make the playoffs, and I think Kevin deserves to be evaluated at the end of the season. And I think I've seen way more good than bad. There has been some bad, and it's been well documented. I think Browns fans are fucking crazy though, because like, do you remember what it was like to have Pat Shurmur as head coach, or Hugh Jackson, or Freddie Kitchens, or Eric Mangini? I mean,
Mangini. Mangini had dick for talent.
Yeah, because he wanted veterans instead of getting talented players, and he had no idea how to find talented players outside of a center. Oh my God, that was just the worst.
He knew how to get guys that he knew.
Yeah. I'll say this about Eric Mangini: the team never quit on him. But good Lord, when you hear stories about he would quiz you, and if you got something wrong, he would shame you in front of the entire team, and they hated him for that. Good Lord, I don't know. Eric Mangini, you're a good person, not a good head coach. Glad you're gone. Kevin, I am, good Lord. He said we got to go 1-0 next week. I saw a lot of guys buying into that nonsense. I like it. I see positive. So we'll see if it continues. I'm sure he's going to get the extension, but the good news is with head coaches, if he sucks next year, you can cut him. One year doesn't fucking matter. It's not like Deshaun Watson where we're married to him for 5 years. Or 4.
It's the Haslam's money anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry.
I don't know if anyone is listening. I know you said you had to piss and you want to cut it off.
I pissed.
So I'm not going to reveal the source of this story. Just consider it a fan theory or whatever, but it's fucking true. So they say that the Freddie Kitchens hire was like Dorsey trying, but that was his downfall or whatever, or the Odell trade, whatever.
Okay.
Greg Williams was the much fucking better head coach option.
Oh yeah.
And Greg Williams, you would think, would be anti Paul DePodesta, etc. Greg Williams is all about him because it's not like DePodesta in the analytics department. It's number science. It's not like wrong, but it's where teams fail with it is with how they implement. As soon as Williams took over, they were practicing like getting on and off the field, like what types of plays they would be running at what point in the game with whatever, but like getting the players bought in on it. And Baker would know like 2 plays in advance. If we get down here, we're going to be doing this. And it's like they were sharp and they were with it. Greg Williams should have been the fucking head coach. And it wasn't hard to see why if you had the proximity to the situation. Dorsey chose Kitchens. Dorsey chose Kitchens because he wanted a puppet because he was trying to have total control over all operations. And
I said that a million times, man. I wrote Terry Pluto. Terry Pluto. He sent me a free book to make me stop. Everybody said that David Njoku was in Freddie Kitchens' doghouse. That is not true. David Njoku was in the way of Demetrius Harris playing, who was a Division II basketball player that Dorsey found that he thought was the next fucking Gonzalez, the next great ex-basketball player tight end. John Dorsey he said to the media that I have a list of guys that I will hire that I wanted. He's never hired a fire. One of my top 10 tonight. He never had a chance to hire a head coach. He told the Cleveland Browns media, I have had a list in my pocket that I've been keeping for years of guys that I'd hire if I had an opportunity. Are you telling me that fucking Freddie Kitchens was on that list? No. Freddie Kitchens was a puppet. So John Dorsey made the 53-man roster. He made that game day roster. David Njoku was in John Dorsey's doghouse because he's in the way of his guy, Demetrius Harris, playing because Sashi Brown drafted David Njoku.
No, you're fucking right.
John Dorsey was the biggest horse's ass. I hate John Dorsey. Terry Pluto sent me a book just to make me go the fuck away. Because he was trying to praise him, and he said John Dorsey deserved another year, and I fucking lost my mind on Pluto over that.
Nobody is talking about John Dorsey being good anymore. That narrative is quit.
I'm just saying,
he's a damn good talent evaluator.
He was
in Detroit. He's doing a hell of a job. He's a scout.
He was a terrible roster put together
constructioner.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a scout. That's all he is.
He sniped Nick Chubb. He sniped
Baker for a little
Kareem
while.
Hunt. He's made damn good moves.
He did Mahomes, right?
The best line that the source guy said was that he likes making these Game of Thrones moves, but he's really fucking bad at it, and it got him fired. And I don't know why I thought
he was the biggest mistake that Jimmy Haslam ever made. If he would have let Sashi Brown continue on his course with Andrew Berry coming up and rising, eventually becoming a GM, that was the course the Browns should have stayed on and not hire John Dorsey. And he was talked into that by Ron fucking Wolf.
The guy also
what do you got? A breathalyzer.
Yeah. Anyway, that's good.
0.04.
That's nothing.
I'm driving. Yeah.
All right, I'm done ranting.
John Dorsey wasn't a dinosaur. Thank God.
I just hated him. I hate him.
That was the one time I think I was the most upset with Jimmy Haslam. That we went from going one direction to going a completely different direction to going, oh yeah, let's go back. But anyway, it's I'm very happy with where things are at right now. Excited for the playoffs. I think we all are. And we all agree. Dorsey did some good things, but ultimately was not the guy to take us to the next level. And no one's refuting that, Roger. And Greg Williams, there were he good Lord, when he took over as interim head coach, the Browns played so much better. And maybe that's because he was listening to the analytics, getting us in the right place, or maybe it's the players liked him. And
I think it was both. One of the coolest things he said, I brought it up on the show. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
One of the coolest things that he said,
Brian, I'm with you, Brian.
that resonated with me was that my buddy, my t-shirt buddy, Brian Zabo, he's like a high school coach, and he went to a Greg Williams like seminar or something. I don't know what the fuck it was, but he said he got there late and there was only like one spot left in like the very front row. And he's like, God, my fat ass has to go down and like show up late or whatever. And he like apologized at the end, like, sorry for walking late. He goes, don't you apologize? I saw you paying attention to every single thing I was saying. And he's like, oh, that's badass. But he asked him some question about his philosophy, and he said, these guys are the best athletes in the world. The worst thing you can do is to put them in a situation where they're thinking or overthinking or overcalculating and not reacting. Like, who are we to tell them to like fit into my system or something along the lines of that? But it just showed that he understood that put these guys in a situation, the path of least resistance to succeed. Simplify things as much as possible. They're not rocket scientists. He had like a less disrespectful way of saying that. It's like they're fucking athletes.
Only incentivize them to hurt people.
Yeah, you could just tell that he led them and did everything he could to simplify things and to get them jacked up. He said, buddy, I got 1,000 texts a day on Father's Day from all of these ex-players because I care about the person, not just the player. But like when you're around him, you're like, I fucking believe it. Like he was not hard to buy into. And if just you sit him into like next to Freddie Kitchens, it's like, really? You thought Freddie was the guy? There's no fucking way.
Yeah. No. But I want to point out, we're not saying that Greg Williams should be the guy over Stefanski. I think we genuinely, all of us, appreciate Stefanski, right?
Yes.
It's just we don't want to put him on the pedestal because
But I would kind of like Greg Williams being involved. They've adopted the Browns, which is sick. I would like Greg Williams to be there in the shadows and be like,
that would be great. What you just said,
closed doors, to say,
it reminds me of Jim Schwartz. It's like, don't try and fit a round peg through a square hole. It doesn't work. You gotta work to your talent. You gotta know who they are. Make the system as complex as they can handle. Obviously, it was something our previous DC didn't know how to do. I would imagine that was part of his downfall. But anyway, I love Schwartz.
Here's my Christmas wish. I want Kevin Stefanski to have a coaching father figure to yell at him behind closed doors if he's fucking up, like a Jim Schwartz, like a Craig Williams. You run the show, Stefanski, but seek counsel from guys who have been involved with this god-awful organization before.
Nice.
I don't know if that makes sense. And that's not a real wish. That's not a realistic thing to occur. And I've been drinking for some time now, and
there's shots fired from Brian.
Well, he said that why isn't Greg employed in it? And I would say it's because he got to a point where he's just talking out of school, and you got to be in the good boys club to keep an NFL job. As soon as you start acting like you're more important than the team, not to say that that's what he's doing, but like, if you have
it is a boys club.
It is a boys club, and as soon as you have a personality, like when Baker Mayfield is really getting out there and having a personality and not keeping it internal, he was getting blackballed by every NFL team because they didn't want a guy running his mouth. They wanted a guy that was going to be what Minnesota has in who do they have? Kirk Cousins, guy that just knows his place and isn't going to say shit and is going to be a good boy. Greg Williams definitely, I think, dealing with all the bullshit that he dealt with throughout his career, was going to speak his mind. And I don't think that's what NFL teams want. You certainly don't want a guy that like you have to worry if he's in our front office, is he going to go out and like start speaking about what's going on? As soon as they get weird thoughts that like that might be what you're going to do, they're not going to hire you. So I think Greg is very talented, but he just decided I'm not going to play their bullshit game anymore. And I made money and I can go, do podcasts, whatever.
You know what? I think creepy ass Sean Payton should get a hold of him and have him come in and save his fucking job in Denver, like he carried him in New Orleans.
Sean Payton will probably hire him next year. We'll see.
Right.
Anyway, this has been an amazing dog chug. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I hope you did as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Raleigh. I mean, this was great. You're welcome back anytime.
Anytime.
You have any final thoughts?
If the Browns don't, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna threaten suicide again?
If the Browns don't win tomorrow, I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Whoa. Heard it here first.
So, I've been really blowing up lately with threatening suicide and dick jokes.
Hey, this is just typical December Browns behavior, okay?
If they win, will you do a victory chug for the dog chug?
I mean, not specifically for you guys.
I mean, you can record it and send it to us, or you can come on live. I mean, whatever you want. If they win, you don't have to kill yourself.
No,
or you can even put dog chug in your video.
I'm not a psycho. I'll only kill myself if they lose, dude.
Well, you just threatened it.
You make one of the old guys in the video dog chug. We'll be happy with that.
I'll send you a dog chug.
Nice. All right. Well, I can't wait to watch the next.
Yeah.
What is it? American.
Browns are gonna win.
American Hustle.
From American Hustle. I can't wait to watch the next version of that.
I don't know how many of those I have left in me. It is the same goddamn video over and over again.
It works every time. I kid you not. Every time I look forward to it. Every time I watch it. Every time I laugh. I love it.
Yeah, man. Just keep doing it. I do a top 10. I've been doing it for 3 fucking seasons. I get it, man. It's the same thing over and over, but keep doing it. We appreciate it, man. I can't wait for the next one.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian just apologized for all of his comments, and that was the only one I saw. Do not apologize. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for still being here after all of our dumb shit. You apologize to no one. You comment whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly.
Salute.
We're all here for respectful discourse. We love PG. We got to have him back on. We'll have both of you on. You could have we can do a round table.
We'll just sit back and drink beer and let you guys go at it. Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
22 a day is real. That's not a joke. Angry.
I think angry. Yeah. Yep.
Angry.
What were we talking? I don't know.
We're almost out
I
of
was
here.
telling you guys, I hate reaction videos. But I'm gonna post one on YouTube and YouTube only, just because it was 20 minutes cut down to 7 to what I think is funny. Check out Browns Confirmed on YouTube and tell me if you like this reaction video. It's not me. It's more so my buddy. I'm there, but I'm kind of in the background. But he is genuine, and it is so fucking funny, in my opinion.
Okay,
Browns Confirmed.
One thing to end the show. Obviously the guy that does the reaction videos with the Bob, where he does the play-by-play and then gets crazy and starts punching. Is he someone that you appreciate, or does he make you angry?
No, I don't. I haven't watched a full one because I don't want anyone to think that I was ripping on reaction videos to be like, oh, I hate that guy because he threatens me.
No, there's a bunch of people that do it. I'm just asking specifically about this one.
That guy specifically, he calls the plays as they occur, and I think he does them live.
Yeah.
I mean, they better be live, or else it's like,
yeah, he's doing the whole game live.
So he's doing it live, and he's losing his mind. I respect that. That's fine.
Okay, good, because it does seem genuine to me. I just wanted to get
Yeah. And honestly, I could not do that part of it of like every time somebody catches a ball, it takes me a couple of seconds to be like, wait, who is that? Like, okay, it's Njoku. You know what I mean? Like when it's a receiver that's like not Amari Cooper or Njoku, I'm like,
oh, someone caught it. Who is that?
Yeah, a Cleveland Brown caught it. It's not intercepted.
Yeah, he's very. It's
sound
so
like
funny
such
with
a
him because
dumbass.
he's so professional, and he almost sounds like Jim Donovan doing it, and then he just starts going insane. And I mean, I have to admit, I love the dichotomy of those two things. I'm a big fan of this.
So that guy is. We should know what's his handle.
Zay.
What is it?
Chef Zay.
Chef. That's it.
It's Bob. Get off the field
at one point.
His tagline is "Get off the field" when he punches Bob.
Oh.
Get off the field. That's his big tagline when he punches Bob the dummy. Do you see him jump on him the other day? Yeah, Chef Zay is incredible, man. Get off the field is his big tagline, though, man.
So that guy is awesome. I don't even care about the punching. I'm more like impressed by his calling of the plays. But my buddy who I was watching, I think about it this way. If I were to film myself alone doing a reaction video, I'd be like, I couldn't do it with a straight like conscious, because I'd be like, all right, I'm a smart ass. I try to be funny, but this is me being like, hey guys, watch me be funny, and it's totally genuine or whatever. Like that guy's is genuine, the guy we were talking about. Yeah. However, my buddy Hayes, he is a fucking psycho, but he's a funny psycho, and he's a genuine psycho. And like, it was like 2 minutes into the first quarter. Like, I'm not gonna have like the corresponding like play-by-play that goes with it. Just watching him, and his dad was there too. like, Dad, don't say that, Dad. Like, no, Dad, it's not too, like, we don't need a turnover yet, Dad. He just says Dad so many times, but it's genuine, it's psycho, and I think my greatest skill is being good at knowing funny, if that makes sense. And the Hayes family is the funniest goddamn group of people.
Good Lord.
And watching, like, I'm like passive in this video.
Is the guy that wrote Throw Joe Flacco?
What's that?
That's the guy from the chat. Throw Joe Flacco. The
Not
song,
Joe Flacco?
Right? Throw Joe Flacco. The song that he did, right? Oh. You're talking about the
no, that's
Browns
a different.
confirmed.
That's Logan Bruce. Logan. That's a different guy. Than
I thought it was okay.
Right. Who you're talking about? Please send him our way so we can retweet.
Oh yeah, I can send you Logan Bruce. Yeah, you're talking about the music guy or the psycho?
The psycho, yeah.
Okay, I'll send you the psycho. I'll send you the music guy.
Yeah.
I'll send you whoever you want.
All right. Well, you can't.
You guys want Greg Williams?
Yes.
You can't have Greg Williams. He's my posse.
Can you have Greg Williams come on the dog chug and do spit sip chug?
Right.
All right.
Yeah, you got to get us Greg Williams.
He doesn't have to do shit, Roger. Anyway,
I know. I'm just.
We gotta end this one.
Shoot my shot.
50 minutes late, but this has been so much fun. I've had a blast.
Yeah.
Raleigh, thank you so much. I tried to say earlier, anytime. You're amazing. Really appreciate the time. And this has been an absolute blast. Roger, Ross, thank you so much.
Follow Angry Browns fans on Instagram. Go to clevelandconfirmed.com and buy a shirt. Subscribe to brownsconfirmed.com. Wait, no. Subscribe to Browns Confirmed YouTube. That's like 118 followers. It's sick.
There you go.
They're my family members. You guys want to be family members?
Yes.
Subscribe.
I just did.
Don't subscribe to Angry Browns fan. That guy's a douche.
Guy's a total douche.
Total douchebag. It's plural.
Yep. The plural guy. Also a douchebag, but mildly funnier.
All right. Well, I think this time tomorrow we're going to be celebrating another Browns win. And
Yeah.
it'll be amazing. So this time, drink them if you got them.
You're gonna end on a jinx.
Yep.
Give us a jinx, a Dick Carnes type jinx.
Your boss would be proud.
Go Browns.
Tomorrow.